every garden has a utility area, and by that, I mean a space for the shed, the compost bin, and of course, the clothesline. But these areas are normally designed for practicality rather than aesthetics, but that just lets the rest of the garden down. So I'm going to give this area some love. And yes, these are mine. You can see this Hills hoist has seen better days. It's stopped working and it's in a really weird location. You can't really practically use it. So this one's coming out and then I'm going to relocate another one right in the middle. We're then going to put some paving around it and bring in lots of plants. But first things first, this has got to go. Found a centre mark to the garden just by putting some diagonals across, and where the points meet in the middle, that's where the washing line is going to go. Now I'm putting in the sleeve first and then I'm going to work the rest of the garden around it, so I've always got a fixed point to work from. So with the hole I've gone quite wide because I want a lot of concrete around to hold it in. It's really tempting to do a narrow hole, but the wider you go, the more stable it's going to be. And I've also gone quite deep. That means I can put some gravel in the bottom of the hole, so when I do concrete around it, it's not going to sit in water. Now we're going to give this 15 minutes to go off. It is rapid set, so it should happen pretty quickly. Whilst that's going on, we're going to start digging out all the grass, ready for the paving to go down. With our paving dug out, I'm just adding in this tree ring around our washing line so we can create a little garden bed next to it. Now, you don't want this too big because you still want to access the handle, but I thought it'd be nice to have some aromatic planting in here. It also gives us an edge to pave up to, which gives us a nice circle. I'm using crazy paving underneath our washing line. Now, crazy paving is basically random pieces of stone fitted together like a jigsaw, and I'm using sandstone because it suits our bush-style garden. Now, there's two ways of doing this. There's a really difficult way where you need to put down a solid base, lay it all out, mud it all in, get tight joints, and then grout it all. I'm making this much simpler. I'm just going to go stone by stone, individually lay it, which will give us gaps between our stone that we can use plants and gravel in. I'm just laying these pieces of sandstone on a mud mix, which is bricky sand and cement. I'm actually just going dead level all the way around, and that means the water that falls on the stone is going to fall in the gaps, and this little pocket's going to have planting, so it's going to be perfect conditions for them. When it comes to crazy paving, really the more random the shapes of pieces of stone, the better it's going to look. So if you end up with a square piece like this, or you're trying to cut a piece to fit in, there's a few ways you can do it. One, you can drop it on the ground and it will break. Two, you could hit it with a lump hammer like this, or if you want a bit more finesse, you can use a bolster. See, our stone circle is looking really good and it's got plenty of room to move around, but to connect it to the rest of the garden, I'm just popping in some stepping stones as well. With our stonework finished, it's time to get on to the planting. And for our central ring, I'm using this lovely lavender called Bella Blue. Now, this likes a limited root run and lots of sun, so it's perfect for this position. And being fragrant, it's going to get rid of the smell of Dad's farty undies. To finish off the planting in the central bed, I just used some African daisies and some kalanchoes. And to bleed the planting out between the paving, I'm just using this. This is a dichondra. Now, you could use an aromatic plant like thyme, but I want something that stays quite small so it doesn't take over the paving. This dichondra is perfect for that. It's an excellent lawn substitute. It can take full sun and it can take full shade, and it doesn't need much soil at all. That's why it's perfect for this. I'm using a bit of soil around the root ball just to help it establish. You'll notice with my planting that I've put the dichondra in sort of a haphazard manner, and the reason I've done that is because, like the paving, the more random you make it, the better it actually looks with this style. And to finish it off, just using some salt and pepper gravel in between the gaps. This garden bed right next to our washing line gets hammered with hot westerly sun, so we need plants that can take the heat. We've got this lovely emu bush. It's got this silvery foliage, and this is quite an upright form. It's going to get up and screen out this decking. And in front of it, angelic baby pink, really nice variety, gets a lovely dome shape to it. But then I've also brought in some fragrant plants, the lavender, as well as these citronella geraniums as well. Lovely lemon-scented foliage. And of course, you can't forget the brand new washing line. Now, we've hit a really lovely combination of practicality and prettiness with the stone paving, softened by all the fragrant planting. It's almost a shame to hang some washing on this.